Got home late and found my wife staring at my laptop screen. The videos showed me, smiling, laughing, with someone else. She didn't say a word, just took off her ring, set it beside my dinner plate, and walked away. I didn't cheat. Not the way most people would think. I didn't sleep with her. But I was still somewhere I shouldn't have been, smiling in a way I hadn't in years, and it wasn't with my wife. This started 4 months ago, in Columbus, Ohio. It was a Thursday. Cold, early spring. Still dark by dinner time. Dana had been working long hours at the hospital. She's a nurse, and I'd been pulling late nights too, but not always at work. I told Dana I had to stay late to finish layout edits. I'm a copy editor for a small paper here. Usually it's boring stuff, crime briefs, city council blurbs, the occasional high school sports feature. But that night, like a few others before it, I was at the Foxhole Bar near 5th and High. Small place, cheap beer, old music. That's where Jess worked. She was a freelancer who sometimes helped our paper when we were short. Mid-30s, sharp-tongued, good with words. We clicked fast. We started off just talking after work. Then a few drinks. Then a few too many. But it was always just talking. I kept telling myself that. That night at the bar, Jess and I had shared a few jokes about my editor. I remember leaning over, showing her something stupid he had emailed me, both of us laughing. I don't remember turning on my phone's camera, but I had been filming something earlier, and I guess it kept recording. It captured a lot more than I realized. It caught me smiling. Really smiling. The kind of smile Dana hadn't seen from me in a long time. I wasn't touching Jess. But I was looking at her like she mattered. Like I wanted to be there. I didn't know Dana had seen it until I got home. I pulled into the driveway just after 9. No lights were on in the front room. The dog didn't bark. The porch light was on, though. That was her way of saying, "I'm still up." I walked in with my bag over one shoulder, already thinking of what excuse I was going to give for being late. The smell hit me first, spaghetti. Her go-to meal when she didn't have the energy to cook but wanted to make sure I ate. I walked through the living room and into the kitchen. She was sitting at the table. My laptop was open in front of her. She had the chair pulled in close, like she'd been there a while. Staring. She didn't look up when I came in. I saw the screen and froze. I saw myself, leaning in, smiling. Laughing like I was home. She didn't say anything. Not a word. She reached up slowly and pulled off her ring. She set it down next to the plate she'd made for me, spaghetti, still hot. She didn't throw it. Didn't cry. Just placed it there like it was something that no longer belonged to her. Then she stood up, pushed the chair back, walked right past me, and left. She didn't slam the door. Didn't take her purse. Didn't even grab a coat. Just walked out like I didn't matter anymore. I stood there, staring at the laptop. I didn't even move. I felt my stomach sink, like everything in my life had just snapped. I didn't chase her. I didn't know what to say. Because the truth was, I'd fallen into something without even meaning to. What I didn't know yet was how far this would go. How far she'd go. She didn't come home that night. I sat at the table for hours, the spaghetti cold by the time I touched it. I picked at it with my fork, then threw it in the trash. I kept looking at the ring. That small circle of metal felt heavier than anything in the room. I didn't even close the laptop. I just kept watching the video on loop, trying to see what she saw. Trying to figure out if maybe, just maybe, I could explain it in a way that didn't make me look like a complete bastard. But I couldn't. The next morning I called her. Straight to voicemail. I texted her, nothing. I checked our shared bank account. Nothing withdrawn. I drove by her sister's place in Worthington. Her car wasn't there. I even called her best friend, Alana, who told me flat out, "Don't drag her into this. She's not talking to you. Leave her be." I didn't go to work. I couldn't. By Sunday, I finally got a message. Not from Dana, but from her lawyer. She was filing for divorce. No talk. No counseling. No waiting. Just straight to the point. I wasn't shocked. I guess what hit me hardest was how fast she moved. Like she'd been waiting for a reason. Maybe she had. Maybe she'd felt the distance for a long time and just needed the final proof to cut the cord. A few days later, I got served at work. And that's when I saw it, what she added to the petition. Emotional abandonment. Inappropriate extramarital relationship. Evidence of infidelity. I felt the heat crawl up my neck reading those words in black ink. Inappropriate relationship was one thing. But infidelity? I hadn't slept with Jess. I hadn't touched her. I knew that much. But Dana didn't seem to care about technicalities. And in Ohio, when it comes to divorce, perception can do just as much damage as the truth. So I called Jess. Big mistake. She answered, but her tone had changed. What the hell did you tell your wife? She snapped. I've got people at the paper whispering behind my back. Your mess is bleeding into my life, and I didn't sign up for that. I didn't tell her anything, I said. She saw a video. I think maybe she hacked into my iCloud or something. Oh, great. Great. So now I'm the other woman in a marriage I didn't even know was falling apart? You realize how bad this looks for me. I tried to calm her down, but it was no use. She hung up. And that was it. Whatever kind of friendship, or whatever it was, we had, it was dead. Then came the second hit. A letter from the paper. I was being put on administrative review, while HR looked into a complaint, inappropriate conduct with a contractor. Jess hadn't filed it, but someone had. Someone who had access to our emails. Someone who saw our chats and flagged them. I wasn't being accused of anything criminal, but it didn't look good. Within 2 weeks, I'd lost Dana, my house, and the job I'd worked at for 12 years. But that's not even the part that broke me. It was what I found out next. She'd already moved on. A mutual friend, someone who didn't know what had happened, slipped up during a call. Hey, saw Dana the other day at the Grange, he said. She looked great. Was with some guy. I didn't know she had family in town. She didn't. I drove out there the next day. Parked across the street, waited like a damn creep. Then I saw them. Dana. And a man I'd never seen before. Laughing. Holding hands. I wanted to think it was just a rebound. But it wasn't. It was something else. Something that had probably been happening long before she watched that video of me and Jess. And that's when it hit me. Maybe she was the one hiding something. And maybe this whole thing wasn't about what I did. Maybe she was just waiting for an excuse. And I gave it to her. I started digging. Not out of revenge, at least not at first. I just wanted to know. I needed to understand how she moved on so fast. I still felt like I was stuck in that moment at the dinner table, and she was already walking into restaurants with another man like nothing ever happened. His name was Paul Carson. I found that out 2 days later, thanks to a reverse license plate search I did through a buddy at the DMV. Paul was 10 years older than Dana. Divorced. Lived in a townhouse on the east side of Columbus. He owned a small financial advising firm that catered to retirees. Clean record. Decent money. His LinkedIn photo looked smug. That didn't tell me how they met. Then I remembered Dana's phone. Months before all this, I'd helped her set up some kind of fitness app. It used her Gmail to log in. Back then, she told me to just use our shared email for simplicity. I had totally forgotten about that until I saw a notification pop up on my phone one night. Calendar sync from Google. Her account was still connected to my phone. I opened the calendar and scrolled through the months. I found entries going back a year. They looked like appointments. Random names. Initials. PT 4:30 p.m. Or meeting with P. One of them, a recurring entry every Thursday evening for months, just said, Counseling E, Maine. That one got my attention. Dana had never mentioned therapy. Not once. I googled the address. It wasn't a therapist's office. It was Paul Carson's firm. My chest tightened. This wasn't new. They'd known each other for at least a year. Maybe more. And Thursday nights? That was when she always said she was working late, too. My late work nights were real for a while. Hers were never questioned. I looked up more. Dug into her social media activity. She hadn't posted in months, but I checked her tagged photos. Buried way down in her friend's feed was a photo from some wine festival in Hocking Hills. Dana in the background. Paul's hand on her lower back. The photo was dated 7 weeks before she saw that video on my laptop. I sat there, shaking. She'd already checked out of the marriage. Probably long before I even met Jess. She'd been playing the long game. Gathering her pieces. Building her story. And when she saw that video, it was just her opportunity to walk away clean. To look like the victim. To get sympathy. To win the divorce without having to explain herself. And the worst part? I gave her exactly what she needed. Now I was the one with the bad record. The guy under review at work. The husband who cheated. While she walked away, head high, ring on the table like some symbolic martyr move. It was all a setup. I stopped feeling guilty. I started getting angry. And that's when I realized I wasn't done. Not by a long shot. She wanted to play clean? Fine. But if she thought I'd just let her walk away with the house, the car, the sympathy, and a new man with a tidy little future, she didn't know who she was dealing with. If she wanted war, she'd get one. And it would start with the truth. I didn't go nuclear right away. That's not how I work. I'm not loud. I'm not dramatic. But when I get pushed too far, when someone plays me for a fool, I don't forget. And I sure as hell don't let it slide. I called a lawyer. Not some budget guy either. I pulled what was left of my savings and got myself a divorce attorney who used to work for the city, sharp, no-nonsense woman named Arlene. I laid out everything. The calendar entries. The photos. The timeline. She listened. Asked questions. Took notes. "You've got something here," she said. "Not enough to prove infidelity on her end, not unless you can catch them now. But we can show that she used your video as leverage to gain the upper hand, when she was far from innocent herself. Can that help? It might not change everything. But it can change enough. Property split. Spousal support. Custody of the dog if you want it. And more than that, it tells your story." That's all I needed to hear. I stayed quiet, let her lawyer think I was going to settle. Meanwhile, I started building a case. Found a few mutual friends who were willing to talk. One of them, Mark, said Dana had been distant for over a year. She'd flirt with other guys right in front of people. He told me. "I figured you two were in an open thing or something." No. Not open. Just one-sided. Then came the break. A month later, Arlene called me. "I got something," she said. "One of our investigators caught them, Dana and Paul, at a rental cabin just outside of Chillicothe. We have time-stamped photos. Same cabin, 2 nights, 1 bed. That was the smoking gun. I didn't go public. I didn't post it online or blast it through our old social circles. I let Arlene file it quietly. Then I watched as Dana's attorney tried to backpedal. First they asked to drop the infidelity accusation against me. Then they offered to revisit the division of assets. Now the deal was, I keep the house. She walks with her car and a much smaller slice of our joint account. No spousal support. No alimony. She even gave up her claim to our damn dog. But I wasn't done. You want to know what revenge really is? It's not yelling. It's not smashing windows or setting fires. It's showing someone who thinks they're better than you, someone who planned to make you look like a joke, exactly how smart you can be. I took the deal. Signed the papers. Kept the house. Kept the dog. Sold her old car a week later and donated half the money to a local shelter, under her name. But I saved the best for last. Remember that HR investigation? The one that stalled my career? I had emails, months of them. Between Jess and me. Friendly. Not romantic. Nothing inappropriate. I turned them over to a friend in the papers union. He leaned on the board. Made it clear, I was being punished for something outside of work. They dropped the investigation. I got my job back, different role, but same pay. Then I submitted a little story to the editorial team. A piece about emotional affairs, and the thin line between connection and betrayal. No names. No photos. Just the truth, hidden in fiction. It got published. People loved it. And Dana? She saw it. I know because she messaged me 2 weeks later. All it said was, "I read your article. Was that really how you saw me?" I didn't answer. She made her move. I made mine. We both lied. We both lost. But I walked away with my name, my job, my house, and something she couldn't take back, her mask, ripped off. And that's how you bury someone without ever raising your voice.